Do you remember a spat of twin films in the mid-1990s? Meaning films with very similar plot that opened in the cinema within a short period of time. We have Dante's Peak and Volcano, we have Armageddon and Deep Impact. We have The Truman Show and Ad TV. We have A Bug's Life and Ants. In 2024, we actually have a pair of movies with almost identical premise that opened within a month within each other. One film was a sort of legacy sequel to a beloved horror franchise, while the other banked on the voluptuous nature of their main lead. A naive young nun from the US of A travelled to Italy to complete their journey. Their destination would be an old and creepy monastery or convent, where our young protagonist had been sweet-talked by a male senior member of the hierarchy, abated by a senior nun we knew who was up to no good. There was a sort of persona non grata that the protagonist should not communicate with. The protagonist will befriend a local associate who will be integral to their fate in the new surroundings. Something would happen to our protagonist due to the actions and motives of the people around her. My interest in watching horror movies had only been triggered of late, after trying to steer clear as much as I could in the past 4 decades. The Omen franchise was never in my radar. Maybe caught a few glimpses on TV by chance, but was not entirely spooked by Damien Thorn and his devilish shenanigans. The original film, released in 1976, was directed by Superman and The Goonies director Richard Donner and had Academy Award-winning actor Gregory Peck starring in it. It scarred many people who watched it back then and showed how children can be as equally creepy as adults. 3 lukewarm sequels followed, and then a remake in 2006 starring the girl from the Bond movies. I had not heard people waxing lyrical about it. The prequel, which set in early 1970s prior to the plot of the original film, had a sullen and decrepit settings. You just knew something was up to no good. One thing in the first Omen being structurally solid was that they mentioned that only girls were accepted in the convent from mothers who wanted to give them up. Our protagonist, Margaret, or Margarita by the local people, who made me hungry and thirsty, and the mention of her name was wet behind her ears. Being totally devoted to her faith, she was not averse to temptations. Well, don't all uber religious movies go in that direction? Beside her activities outside the convent, being nosy set Margaret to some sticky situations, or perhaps it was all set up for her to see what she had seen. Then it transformed into an espionage thriller with the Office Chris Finch as the movie's Gene Hackman type character. It was rather incredulous to bank upon a naive nun from America to uncover the most outrageous conspiracy theory since the Da Vinci Code. However, the uncovering of the secrets shrouding the convent still managed to trigger a collective response from me and my watching party. It also tied up the subplots from earlier part of the movie. The movie of course had to tie up with the film from 1976, which was just okay, neither subtle nor over the top. This concept of a prequel also gave the audience an idea what was going to be transpired. I also felt that the climatic arc of the first Omen would outdo Immaculate, as the latter film was too convenient with the whole plot and it was action-packed like Ripley gunning down the xenomorphs. It might be interesting to note that between Margaret actress, now Tiger Free, Ralph Ineson, and Charles Dance, who made a sort of cameo at the start, we had a mini renewal of the cast of Game of Thrones. Bill Nye, who assumed the role of the Cardinal so effortlessly, was perhaps the most recognizable face in the cast. Director Akasha Stevenson was mainly doing TV, and for a debut film directorial, I think she did a nifty job, pacing the storytelling, did not make the film seem draggy for most of the part. The jump scares weren't too badly done, though the viscera from one particular scene was enough to shake audience even after the movie. As I had not watched the previous Omen films, I could not say if the score had consistently been awe-inspiring as well as hypnotic, but the score for the first Omen was brilliantly threaded together. Although I kept putting down Immaculate, the first half of that movie was not too shoddy, certainly worth a watch as well. I will give the first Omen a 7 out of 10. Please like and subscribe my channel if you can. I have reviews for films like Late Night with the Devil and Abigail, which you can check them out too. Everyone have a good week ahead.